Well, my husband Bryce and I, we had been sponsoring a couple kids over in Africa, like most people do, just to teach our two children how blessed they are living in America. And I had a party one evening, and a friend of mine invited a girl I'd never met. And the woman points at my refrigerator. She goes, "You fell for that?" I go, "I'm sorry, what is your name? Can you get out of my house?" No. I just go, "No, we're teaching our kids." And she goes, "Yeah, how do you know those kids aren't 40 years old and you're paying for some guy's Porsche?" I go, "I don't. I guess I'm just having faith that the money's getting there." She goes, "Yeah, well, I never really fall for that." So that night I go to bed and I'm like, "Bryce, honey, I'm going to Africa. I want to see where our $25 a month's going." He's like, "Cool, honey, let's spend $3,000 so you can find out where our $25 a month's going." I go, "I'm serious, what if it's fake and we're teaching our two kids that we're sponsoring these children and we might be paying for some guy's Porsche?" Well, the man's been married to me for a while, so he said, "Okay, get the information." So we got all the shots, the passports, my parents come down to watch our two kids, and the night before our trip, my husband gets deathly ill. He's never sick. I'm like, "Honey, you gotta suck it up. We gotta make it to Heathrow, He's like, "Honey, I can't go." I go, "It's a sign. We're gonna die in the plane and leave our two kids orphaned while I go try to find these kids that are 40 in Africa, He goes, "You're so dramatic." I go, "I'm serious." He goes, "You're not sick. You need to do this." And I'm thinking, come again? You're gonna send your only wife to the other side of the world? Who's gonna carry my luggage, And he goes, "Seriously, Shelene, you need to do this." So I woke up the next morning, and of course, I didn't tell anyone I was coming. All I had was a little photos, and I'm gonna be Diane Sawyer. I'm gonna bust this thing open if it's fake, right? So I fly from LAX to Heathrow, from Heathrow to this little village in Entebbe in East Africa called Gaba. And I go, "Hi, I'm from America, and I came to meet my two children, AR212 and GR479. This gracious woman gets up. She goes, "Okay, follow me." And I'm thinking, great, let's get some action done over here, right? 2 miles later, she hikes me into the back lot of one of my movie sets. Mud huts the size of my walk-in closet with a bad-looking sheet for a front door. And she goes, "This is Omega's house." That's the name of my little girl on my refrigerator. Loosest sense of the word. There was no electricity. There was nothing. She goes, "Go ahead, go in." And as I pull the curtain back and I go inside, this child darts at me. She goes, "Mzungu," which means white, okay? But at the time, I'm thinking girlfriend saying, "Angel." This white girl just dropped from the sky. And I didn't recognize her at all because she'd grown from her little photo, but I go, "Omega?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "I'm Shelene." She goes, "I know." And as I'm holding her like I would my little daughter Brooke, I'm thinking, she's real, $25 a month. And I was just overwhelmed, and as I was holding her, my eye catches the Christmas card photo of my family embedded in her mud wall. And I'm thinking, she's been getting my mail? Actually, I was thinking, my mother-in-law doesn't put up my picture, Wow. And I said, "Honey," I was just so overwhelmed. I'm like, "I'll get you anything. What do you want?" And she gets, because I'm an American mom and I got an American Express card. "What do you want, honey?" And she gets this big smile on her face and she goes, "A bed." And I'm like, "Cool. Where's Target Jungle? You got a Pottery Barn out here? What do you?" And so I took her and our little boy, Alonis, into Kampala, which was the capital of their country. They've never been out of their village, because actually in Uganda, 80% of the population is under 20 years old. It's like Neverland there, right? And I took her into Kampala, and I bought her bed, sheets, a mosquito net, a blanket, and a pair of shoes for $20. I'm thinking, we're all Oprah over here, right? I'm like, who wants a bed? I'm passing out beds for $3. I go back to her village, and I did an HGTV design on a real dime, okay? I'm rolling out linoleum. I'm putting up mosquito nets for the malaria. I'm passing out beds, and I'm thinking, if my girlfriends back home knew that I'm skipping a manicure, pedicure, seriously, and I'm keeping this kid alive, fed in school, they'd skip it. So when I got back, I was a little excited, as you could tell. And I was getting phone calls off the hook, from my girlfriend. Shelene, was it real? What happened? And so I had an Africa party. Some women do Tupperware. I do Africa parties. And I invited like 60 of my girlfriends over, and I shared my story, and I said, we're going back. And forget move the bus. We're doing land that plane. I'm doing extreme village makeovers. Are you in? I'm just saying, who's in with me, right? Like, knock that down already. And so I actually got a couple of my Dayspring girlfriends to fly back to Africa with me. And I started flying to all these different countries. And my son thinks I'm like the coolest mom now, And I'm going, when did comfort and safety become my number one priority? Because it was paralyzing me. When did that happen? I missed it. I was so busy trying to make this comfortable life for my son. I mean, I live in Thousand Oaks, the safest city in America, and then it switches to Simi, and we move, and then we come back to Thousand Oaks when it switches back. But when did that happen? See, one thing I found when I traveled to all of these different countries is an uncomfortable joy that has changed my life. See, I grew up seeing those slides of pictures with the kids with the flies all over their face, and to be honest, I'd just turn off the TV. I hated it. It made me so uncomfortable, or I'd maybe throw a couple bucks at it and go, I'm good. I don't like those images. But then I met these kids, and they have this joy and contentment that's not of this world. Amidst nothing. They have nothing to offer me. They have nothing. They're dying because the water is bad, and they have diarrhea. They don't have cancer or AIDS. They need a meal. That's it. I'm like, I can hook that up. There was another thing that really disturbed me, and it was this. $2. See, let me show you something. Exactly. Maybe a couple hundred, someone would have got out of their seat. But $2? I mean, 1% of the world lives the way we do, yet 53 out of 100 people live on less than $2 a day. See, the reality is, if you slept in a bed last night, if you keep your clothes in a closet like I do, if you had a roof over your head, you are richer than 75% of the entire world population. And yet we say things like, I'm broke. Actually, we are overfed and unconcerned, and we need to skip that. We want for nothing. If my son doesn't like the water, it comes in 15 different flavors. Let's get serious. Propel grape, strawberry. I mean, and this is the world we live in, but how can we leave it better? See, when was the last time you did anything that made you uncomfortable? Or as my friend Seth Godin would say, when was the last time you did something for the first time? My desire is that you will leave here and do something that makes you uncomfortable. I think we've gotten so used to trying to keep up our standard of living that we're not living. I want you to do something today, if you want to, that makes you uncomfortable. Maybe it's making that phone call and saying, I'm sorry to that person you haven't spoken to in 5 years. Or maybe it's quitting that dead-end job that you hate getting up for every day and starting your own company and going with passion and pursuing that dream that's just in your heart every day. Or maybe it's walking across the street and meeting your neighbor and inviting them over for Tuesday taco night. The first time I did that, they thought I was selling Amway. But it worked. I know them now. I know their name. And for some of you in here, I think you need to get really uncomfortable. I think some of you just need to get on a plane and come with me to Africa or Haiti or Peru. Anyone in? See, I'm not concerned that anyone in this room is going to fail at anything. I'm going to be really honest. You are the 1%. I'm the 1% that get to live the way we do. So I'm not concerned you're going to fail at anything. My concern is that you're going to succeed at something that didn't matter. Thank you.